order the City Council meeting of the City of Bel Air Beach, Florida, Monday, July 10th, 2017 at 5:30 p.m. Everyone please stand for the pledge. Patty, will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Julie Chandler. Councilmember Pamela Gunn.
Here.
Councilmember Mitchell Kopp.
Here.
Councilmember John Petrowski.
Here.
Vice Mayor Wanda Schwer.
Here.
Mayor Leslie Ford Notero.
Here.
City Manager Nancy Gonzalez.
Here.
City Attorney Paul Marino.
Here.
Finance Officer Melanie Cruzona. Here. Community Services Director Lynn Reeves.
Here.
And Councilmember Gerald Cohen has not arrived.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and Vice Mayor Schwer has said she would like to make an amendment to it.
After reading through the supporting materials, I think I would like to swap items number 10 and 12 and take up item number 12 before number 10.
We have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda as amended is approved. Citizens' comments. Each speaker will be recognized once and will be limited to a 3-minute presentation on any subject that is not on the agenda. Is there anyone that would like to speak? Yes, sir. Come on up. Give us your name, address.
Okay. Bill Shaw, 233 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I was wanting an update on the underground utilities. I'm hearing all kind of rumors that it hadn't been approved, or that certain parts of Bel Air Beach had been approved, like Donato and Louis Drive. And I wanted to see if that was true, and if we would borrow money just to do that particular area, there won't be any money left, or may not be any money left to do all of Bel Air Beach, because I understand from the past it was $10 million to do all of Bel Air. And if we're going to borrow $1 million to do just that area, is that going to preclude us from having, I live on Howard, having Howard done? And I'd like to know the procedures to either be for it or against it, because if it's just a certain area approved now, which I understand there's 3 commission people that live in that area, and it's odd that they got approved. Not odd. I just want these questions answered so I feel comfortable when it's an honest, open process. I don't want Louise and Donato to get it and then we're 7, 8, 10 years away. I've been on Howard now almost 18 or 19 years. And I just don't want our street and others in the area, I'm speaking for all of Bel Air Beach, to be excluded just because Louise and Donato get to the trough and borrow $1 million, and then we can't borrow any more money. So I just would like those questions answered.
Okay. It's a work in progress. We have an ad hoc committee that's talking about the Louise and Donato area. Nothing is cast in stone yet. Financing for it would be done through a non-ad valorem assessment, which becomes a lien on those properties in the area. So we're not done talking about it. Part of the, and you know, we had a survey done of the residents of Bel Air Beach. And,
I participated in it.
okay, well, you know, based upon the survey responses, we chose to start at that area. And it's when you say confined area, that's not the right word, but more defined area. So it's not out of question for the rest of the city. It's just we're doing it one step at a time.
Well, is that area going to be approved?
Don't know yet.
Now, are we going to be notified that the process is in, that we can weigh in on it and vote on it? And because like I said, I'm not.
If there is a a procedure. It's in our ordinances. It's also in Florida state law for doing a non-ad valorem assessment to fund a project within a specific area. It requires a petition from the homeowners in that area with over 50% plus one of the property owners in that area. So it's not a done deal there yet either. So
Which of the commissioners live in those two areas? Could you raise your hand? Two of you, not three?
And there's, yeah, Gerald does also.
He lives there also. Well, several, and this is not a threat, but several lawyers said that, you know, you might have a lawsuit or a petition to stop something like that if it's only benefiting a certain area. Is that true or not? Either city attorney.
I can assure you, sir, that we have run it by the state attorney general's office and stuff, and it is not an issue.
All right, so you could vote, if that whole area votes to do this, say you get the majority, you have to get everybody or just the majority?
Majority.
All right, if you get the majority on those two streets to approve it, are you saying it would be done and the rest of us couldn't do anything about it?
Absolutely. It wouldn't affect what you guys might be able to do. I mean, you guys can't stop that.
Now, is the city, are you going to borrow the money or is the individuals going to pay for it?
These are still open questions, sir. And, you know.
Mayor, can he attend the meeting? He can attend the ad hoc committee meetings. Can
Yes,
he?
yes. There will be ad hoc committee meetings. They will be noticed on our website and on the sign marquee out front here. And they go through these discussions, so feel free to do that. I would suggest that would be your next step.
All right, so
Okay,
no
thank you.
decision's been made about the city borrowing all the money or the individuals paying for it, individual or a combination of the two?
Sir, it's a work in progress. I can't say that we've, you know, any decisions have been made so far. And with all due respect, your 3 minutes is
This is like trying to get information out of the Bel Air Country
Can I
Club.
make
You know how hard that is.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
When they did the survey, they looked at certain sections, and they did the northern section, they did Donato, Alida together. Unfortunately, I looked today, Howard and Harrison was grouped with Belle Isle. And Belle Isle already has undergrounding, so those figures for your streets might not have been accurate. Whereas the section where I live in, all those streets do not have undergrounding, and it came back at 72%. So unfortunately, the survey was not designed correctly for the northern section. I mean, that's my input.
This will be a subject that we'll
So it's
discuss.
still a work in process and I can attend those ad hoc meetings.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else in the public that would like to comment? Seeing no one, citizens' comments will be closed. Item number 4.
Before we go to the public hearing, can we approve the minutes?
Oh, my bad. Can I have a motion to approve the June 5th City Council meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
They're approved. Sorry, Peg. Item number 4, public hearing. Consideration of ordinance 1705. Paul, you want to read that?
Yes, ma'am. Do you want to give council a background on this?
Please.
Who wants to do that? Okay, I'll do it.
Go right ahead.
The Florida legislature, again, as you may recall from the Mayor Leslie Waters piece I sent out, and she's very upset about the Florida legislature again mandating things to the cities and taking away cities' home rule powers. We first saw this with the Communications Act that the legislature passed, taking that away from us as to how that would happen in any given city. Now we have the latest technical takeaway, and these are these unique, and I don't understand how they work, but they're these small, unique receivers or transceivers that they want to impose on poles and similar places without regard, in public right-of-ways, without regard for what the cities want or don't want. So the Florida League of Cities wants and suggests that until we can find out all the relevant details of this act and how it's really going to affect each of the municipalities, more so the bigger municipalities than us. Several of the attorneys representing these cities have put together, along with me, a moratorium ordinance. It only requires one reading. It's like an emergency ordinance. It requires one reading, and it will be in effect until September. By that time, between the Florida League of Cities and the other attorneys consulting with each other, we'll have a better picture of how this works. So with that predicate, I'll read the title. Unless you have any questions first. Okay. This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Bel Air Beach, Florida, establishing and imposing a temporary moratorium within the City of Bel Air Beach on the effects of committee substitute for House Bill 687 passed by the Florida legislature during the recently ended 2017 legislative session, prohibiting any and all approval during the moratorium period for any right-of-way locations within the City of Bel Air Beach in order to allow an opportunity for the city to develop an ordinance and as appropriate relating to the impact of the legislation, providing for legislative and administrative findings, providing for geographic area composing by the moratorium, providing for implementing the administrative actions, providing for a savings provision, providing for non-codification of this ordinance, as well as the correction of any scrivener's errors, and providing for conflicts, and providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. I think I sent over some, yes I did, some backup material. And behind this ordinance is a note from Craig Kahn, Deputy General Counsel of Florida League of Cities, to city attorneys and managers that explains exactly what CSCA HB 687 is and does.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for ordinance 1705?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
As Paul described, there's a big issue between like the Florida League of Cities, the Suncoast League of Cities, basically all cities, and the folks up in Tallahassee, that they are trying to erode our home rule power, even though it's part of the Florida Constitution. And this is just another example of their saying, we can't do this. You know, we're lucky that we have our short-term rental in effect, because other cities that didn't have one in effect are having real problems, and you know they're nipping away, and this is just one episode of that.
An illegal mind to
Okay.
state our power to do this.
Excuse me, sir.
It's all legal.
Sir, excuse me. Is there any discussion from council about ordinance 1705?
I have a question about the bill. What benefit would this bring to our residents if the telecommunications come in and start putting in these Wi-Fi receivers?
What limited information I have is that it wouldn't benefit, per se, residents directly, only indirectly. That is to say, for example, if Verizon or Spectrum towers, or anybody's towers, internet towers and phone towers, are getting overloaded, and each of the cells are not able to carry the load effectively, these now provide additional space for those carriers to function. And that's just offhand guess, I have to get into it a little deeper, but I remember we had one application from a company, you remember Nancy? From a company that wanted to start putting these boxes either on the ground or up on poles, and actually it was a relay more than anything else, and it provided additional space for the carriers to have for their customers. That may not be a completely accurate explanation, but that's the best of my knowledge right now.
If I understood this, the telecommunications company wishing to do this could put these boxes on the light poles as well as, and those light poles don't belong to the city, they belong to the utility.
The way we read this, and the limited amount of information I've so far, we just can't tell them where they're going to put them. If they cut a deal with a utility to put them on a utility pole, for example, all the poles, I understand, are owned by Duke Energy, and everybody else leases off of those long-term leases. So if the Duke say, yeah, sure.
This just allows us to control it.
Just temporary.
Yeah, temporarily. It's better than ever. Any other questions from council? Anyone from the audience?
I didn't think he said it was.
Sir, come up to the...
Dr. William Ward, Louisa Drive. This whole thing, legalese and from the state, and I just think it's a bunch of you know what. And I think that we should procrastinate a little bit on it and see if somebody else comes up with something better in the next legislature. I just don't think it's what we need right now.
Look, with all due
I
respect
think
to the board, it's called a temporary moratorium. It's to put things sort of on hold for a little while to give us time to explore it more. If we don't,
Right.
if we don't do this now, nothing to explore. It's history.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that you need a little time to work on it too.
That's what this
Thank
gives
you.
us. Thank you. Any other comments? Ed?
Councilmember Chandler,
Aye.
Councilmember Gunn,
Aye.
Councilmember Crop,
Aye.
Councilmember Petrowski,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schreier,
Aye.
Mayor Notaro.
Aye. Ordinance 1705 passes 6-0. The regular agenda, nomination and approval of voting delegate for the 91st Annual Florida League of Cities Conference to be held in Orlando. Ed?
The mayor has volunteered to attend the annual conference, so we're requesting that she be our voting delegate.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments?
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Anyone opposed? 6-0. Item 6, request City Council's approval to award bid number 1701 for entry signs at Morgan Park Landscape Improvements to Flute Contracting at a cost not to exceed $138,804. Lynn?
Good evening, Lynn Reeves, Community Services Director. Mayor and Council, this is part of the Boulevard beautifications. It's to renovate the 2 entrance signs that we currently have. We're going to refurbish those, and you've seen those plans at some time. And also the marina sign is being part of this. Then there'll be landscaping put at both ends of the city and in the front entrance to Morgan Park. This is one of the projects that's ongoing, so I request your approval to award it.
The only question I have is, we saw some proposed designs for the electronic sign. Will the design of the electronic sign be similar to or complement the city entrance signs and the marina sign?
What we did, we sent out 4 examples of signs from Creative Signs, and we gave them the picture of the sign, and what we're trying to ascertain is what the thought of the council is to move forward with that, because the agreement we have with them is for 2 renditions, two finalized designs. And they are double-sided, they would be digital, and we want to get them as close to the new signs as we can. The only limitation really is the fact that the signs that are going on at the entrance are basically all they are is lettering across the front of the sign. Kind of in the area where, if you remember the signs, and I'm just going to pick one out, in this area, we would have to relocate the font saying City of Bel Air Beach and putting the city seal on it, because the digital signboard would end up in the center. And what we're proposing with the digital signboard is to put that at Crossman Park after the mast arms are put in. As you can see, they're being worked on right now. So
the designs would at least be complementary, if not identical.
we want to try to keep it complementary and try to keep the design, because we can't duplicate it, or you'd have a huge sign.
In this proposal, you said that it's for entrance signs, new landscaping, and maintenance. Is the maintenance for the landscaping?
For 12 months, that was what was put in the bid, and that's what was done with the pedestrian crosswalks, just to ensure that the plants, usually you get a warranty, so this is a way to get a warranty and have them take care of it for 12 months. Make sure the plants live.
Ben, how many bids to get on the 138?
We only got one.
One.
And I will tell you that is it was pretty close to the estimate, within a couple $1,000 of what we estimated it was going to cost. So, and this is coming out of Gulf Boulevard beautification funds. So, now it's Cameron's paying for it.
Any other comments and questions? We have a motion to approve the bid?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's approved. Item number 7, request City Council's approval to award bid B1702 for Harrison Avenue Bridge repairs.
This bid award is for shooting grout into the entrances to the bridge where we had voids underneath the pavement on Harrison Avenue, and put wing walls on both sides. We had 2 bids. One of the bids, it's in your packet, came in at $189,795. The bid I'm proposing to award is to include $160,921. There is a 10% contingency in that amount, so be very careful about that and try to save that contingency, unless there's something in your scene that we don't know.
You got the 2 bids. Clint is doing the entrance sign and so on, and landscaping over at Morgan Park. Is there anything they can tie this into and make it a little less expensive if they can do it all at the same time?
Well, the bid process is kind of what it is, and I'm hoping that we can keep the contingency cost in ourselves, keep the contingency costs coming out of our pocket. The same as we did with Morgan Park. We just made sure that before we did something, we didn't go over the base bid, which is about $15,000 less. And just to go along with that, seawall for Harrison Avenue is out to bid right now. And it's due back July 25th. So everything goes right. We sent it out to a lot of firms. If everything goes right, we get some good bids back, we will ask you to award that at the August meeting.
And Lynn, this is apples to apples, their bids, because there's a big difference.
Yeah, they have to bid, as an example, maybe one of them bid $25,000 for mobilization, the other one bid $20,000. maintenance of traffic, things change.
Any other
Did
questions?
he get one?
Two.
Do I have a motion to approve the bid for the Harrison Avenue Bridge repairs?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved 6-0. Item number 8, consideration of an interlocal agreement between Pinellas County and local governments for cooperative procurements of disaster debris collection and removal service. Is this yours? Oh, I'm sorry.
Still me. This is an interlocal agreement. The county went out and did RFP for this. They went through FEMA to make sure that cities could jump off this contract. Actually, two of the companies that we maintain right now, Ashbridge and DRC, are one of the 7 that the county recommended. And all this agreement does, we don't have to use any of them. We can keep our contract as it is. Or what this does is gives us the opportunity, if their contract prices are cheaper than what we're getting, then we can go to them and say we want to use this contract. So it's a win-win, and there's 7 firms on it. It's already been approved by the county and about another dozen cities within Pinellas County. So I recommend approval.
This is part of our disaster recovery plan, right?
Right. And there's also a monitoring contract. It's in there as part of it for, which is in the process, but it's the sign-up sheet in Exhibit A in the back of the document shows you what we'll be signing to ask for, if we want to use them.
Any questions, comments? We have a motion for the interlocal agreement between...
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 6-0. Okay, then, request city council's approval to advertise for drainage improvements for 2nd Street and Harbor Drive.
This is the first of our stormwater projects that we spoke about several months ago, the priorities. I submitted a set of the plans. We're in the permitting process, and we're pretty well ready to go to bid, but just some highlights on those plans. What the plan is to do is 2nd Street, recurve the whole street, and that's annotated on the plans. Mill it and resurface it. That's also there. Going, remilling up to about the halfway point of Harbor Drive, which you'll see some notations there. And then replacing the piping that goes out of the 2nd Street Park and enlarging it. Right now there's pipes of 15 and 18 inches, we're going to 24 inches. Also the drain will be a little bit different than what you're accustomed to seeing now, with a lid on top of a concrete lid in a circle. It's going to be more graded. That'll get more flow into the inlet, and a swale on top of that. So what's going to happen with the piping that's going to go out through the park, that outfall that's in the park at the seawall is going to be raised a little bit, and that'll help with the flow there. Back in the park, with the drainage inlets right off the edge of the street, right behind it, that's where we're going to put the check valves that we discussed about trying to prevent the high tidal water coming in. And so this will be the first project with that stormwater. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. The engineer's estimate is $142,000. And any questions?
Question. You're saying that they are going to raise the seawall, or you're thinking?
No, the outlet, not the raise the seawall, the outlet. Currently, the outfall is probably, even in low tide, it's probably got about 1/3 to a half water in it. So we're going to raise that pipe up a little bit. So in low we're trying to eliminate some of the water in the pipe.
How will that affect the flow coming from the street? If you raise that up, the street is not that much higher.
Well, the current pipe is set low on the ground, so what it's doing is basically, let's say this is the box. The pipe's coming out of the bottom of this box, so the pipe's down lower. So what's happening is the water's sitting in that box before it gets into the pipe.
They're going to raise it coming out the side of the pipe instead of bottom.
Right. So, and on top of that, we're going to put a swale on top of that pipe. Brown swale, it'll still be part of the park, but we're going to run that out so there'll be an
So it'll be
additional
a
way
dual action.
so you could flow it over the seawall if it got too high in the street.
Questions?
You're gonna, one more, you said we have 2 pipes in there, now you're gonna change it to 24, you're gonna put 124 or 2?
They are both, I believe they're both 24.
So you said we got what, a 15? And
Yeah, we have a 15 and 18. And those are the crossing pipes. What they're doing is they're going, if you look at the plans on the, I'll call it the west side of the corner there is a inlet there, and it's crossing and going across the street into the other end. We're also going to eliminate the connection to Pinellas County's pipe. Where right now we're flushing water into one pipe for Gulf Boulevard and our street. So we're going to reduce the flow of that.
so basically you have 2 pipes, there's county pipe and ours.
Right.
A motion to approve, to advertise for the drainage improvements?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
6-0. Change in the agenda, item 12 is up next, consideration of ordinance 1704. Paul?
We just skip over one.
But she changed the agenda to move,
Okay.
switch 10 and 12.
Thank you.
So we're doing 12 right now.
Ordinance 1704, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Bel Air Beach, Florida, amending Section 10-174K of the City Code pertaining to setbacks and height requirements for swimming pool enclosures, providing for severability and providing for effective date. I think this is our second reading on this. Okay.
That was the first reading. We discussed it.
First reading, but
Talk
second
about it.
step.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Okay. Do I have a motion for ordinance 1704?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Questions?
Can we
So
consider
Mr.
something else, something
Pardon?
about, can we consider something about this? I just have 2 things to consider.
Come up to the,
Dr. Ward, Louisa Drive. Does this conform to the Miami Building Code as far as wind is concerned? Wind velocity is concerned. We're talking about the screened-in area at the people's houses, is that right? Okay. We have to conform to the Miami Code, that's the state code. Now, number 2 is fascia is written in this code, and it doesn't consider, a fascia board is a board that's underneath the house, but it's usually, this is written for a 1-story building. Now, you got a 2-story building, your fascia is way the hell up that, so that should be corrected in other words, so that the fascia board is 8 feet, and rather than 25 feet up high.
Right, on a normal 8-foot house, with your 8-foot ceilings and so on, you got your fascia board about 8 foot high outside. 2-story, you're gonna have it twice as high. I think what they're asking for is, you could correct me, is they're asking for it to be able to go.
Well, I'm not asking for, I just, clarification, that's all, clarification of it. In other words, if it's going to be 8 feet for a one-story house, then it's a two-story house, you're meaning 24 feet.
They're asking for it to go up to the second story.
I just think that should be considered in the new proposal. And I'm not against this at all, we're not for it altogether. But that should be considered. And the wind velocity Miami code should be considered. Thank you.
Comments from council? Anyone else in the audience that might like to clarify? Thank you.
Mike Kelly Pools, Hibiscus Drive West. This is all done last month in the rewrite. It is compliant with the Florida Building Code. Miami is secondary to this. Florida Building Code, the latest edition. We are going to see the fascia on the second floor with a maximum peak of 4 feet above that. And that does comply with all I-beams and all structural integrity for any structure in Bel Air Beach. The fear of going 6 feet high was that the peak would be higher than some of the homes in Bel Air Beach on two-story houses, which you don't want.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments?
No, not there, so you're talking maximum height can't be higher than the maximum height that a roof can be right now in Bel Air Beach, which is what, 35 feet, 30?
33.
Goes to 35.
Is it 35? So it can't go above that.
Even with a normal gabled roof, it won't go higher than 35. But this still has to be reviewed by your city engineer. I don't see how, even on a two-story house, how this could exceed, the peak could exceed the 35 foot.
So some of these roofs they're putting up now, there's one down the street from here, and it's almost flat. So if they're going to put fascia board, or if they could go up their fascia board on that and then go 4 feet above that, they might be above the roof line.
It's entirely up to your city engineer how he interprets it. We're just saying what was proposed and what is acceptable with the industry, that a 4-foot gable, nothing higher than a 4-foot gable is compliant with Florida Building Code.
Yeah.
Can't we just add that in there, that it can't exceed the height of the roof?
Not more than 4 feet high, that's in there.
But I mean, like John was talking about, a flat roof.
Yeah, if you get a house that's almost flat and they can go above 4 feet above that fascia board, they're going to be above the roof line.
No, it can't be more than 4 feet above the wall height of the screen enclosure.
Which is level with the fascia, even on a two-story house.
So it could cause, well, it's not a problem, it's just that the screen enclosure could be higher than the roof.
Well, they should, you should, measure one time, and,
Should that be mentioned in there or added to there somehow, that it cannot exceed the roof in any case?
That's council's discretion. I mean, if there was a flat roof, and if that maxed at 35 feet, if you want to give the consulting engineer the discretion in this ordinance to not allow a gabled roof, then that's a wise move. Many two-story cages you see in the city and in the surrounding areas, after they go to the second story, are flat. Because they're so high to begin with, and so expensive to begin with, people don't want to take them higher. There's no visual obstruction in a two-story cage. So if you want to throw that as an amendment, it's not a bad idea. To literally say on a two-story cage that the height of the roof cannot exceed the 35-foot limit for Bel Air Beach. And that will keep those two-story cages flat. Follow me?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that
consideration.
because some of them, even if it's a two-story they might not hit that 35-foot limit, but the screen enclosure can go above that, up to the 35 foot. Maybe we should make it that the screen enclosure cannot go above the roof line of the house, or
On a two-story
on a
house.
two-story house.
Oh, that's gotta be specific on a two-story house.
Right,
Because
yeah.
one story is, you gotta allow.
Right, there's no height limit, right.
How do you think that should be worded, Mike, to conform to the floodability? That the maximum height of the roof of a screen enclosure on a two-story house cannot exceed the 35-foot maximum height requirement of a Bel Air Beach roof. Mitch, what do you think?
Well, I think what John's saying though is still you get that problem, that it'd be clearer, I think, if it said, in any case, on a two-story home,
No,
a screen
no gable.
enclosure cannot exceed the height of the roof line.
Exactly.
Right.
That's all-inclusive.
Yeah, because it could be, like you said, it could be less than 35 feet, the roof line, but then it might be, 25 feet, and then he's going to go 30 feet with the screen enclosure.
Which isn't, it's not a unrealistic thing.
Yeah.
But you could literally say on a two-story cage, you do not want a screen roof any higher than the fascia, and that's all inclusive.
The sense that we're not
Is that-
we bring it back next month, is that?
Well, if you're bringing, what you're saying, then if they come in and they put that screen enclosure up to the fascia, if you don't go above that, then that screen enclosure is going to be a flat roof. And you don't want that.
Well, you see,
Is that what you're
So just
saying?
collect all you're going to do.
Is that what you're saying?
you see a lot
No,
of
that's
that.
not
I thought you wanted
No,
to say
what I'm
that.
saying is, once they get to that area, which is on the fascia,
Uh-huh.
they cannot bring the peak of that higher than the peak of the roof. Even so, if the roof is going up only a 3-4 pitch or whatever,
Right?
then that could only go up to, the peak of that could only be to the top of the roof.
You could say it to a maximum height of 35 feet.
But, yeah,
Covers it.
I know, but like I said, some of those two stories don't go up to the 35.
Can't we just use the wording to not exceed the roof
35
line?
Roof line of the house.
Right,
In a two-story house.
on a two-story
Right.
house, to not exceed
Makes
the
it
roof line.
much cleaner.
Okay.
In no event shall this,
We reword that to that. The peak of the wait a minute.
Peak of the roof.
There's enough discussion about this that I think you need to form a committee. John.
you're out of order.
Well, that's,
Out of order.
it's pretty simple. We can just put it in there saying that the
People that know something about building,
Yeah.
you know something about building.
the peak of that screen enclosure cannot be higher than the top
For the house.
peak of the house,
Peak of the roof,
or the roof line.
peak of the roof line, or peak of the roof.
All right, so we will bring ordinance 1704 back next month with the,
I work with my work.
yes, okay, thank you. All right. What did you do? 11? 10? Let's do item 10. Consideration of encroachment easement by and between the city of Bel Air Beach, Florida, and Timothy A. Lavenda and Tammy L. Lavenda. If they're here. Okay, I didn't hear your name. Nancy.
Was removed from the last agenda, but it was for the owner of the home. This encroachment easement is for the buyer who is here, and I know it's kind of hard to tell through the survey, but a portion of the swimming pool is actually on city property. On Exhibit B, the survey, there is a line here which encroaches into part of their swimming pool. And she's been teased by the community services director that she's going to open that part of her pool open to the public, but charge admission. So that's what this encroachment easement is for. they asked if they would just feel much better with this.
Is this an existing pool?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure, I thought maybe this was
No.
construction, that's why I wanted to
No.
switch the two.
So the pool,
And, okay.
the pool's existing,
Yes, it is.
I think it had approved in the first place then.
We wondered about that.
It did, actually. And I have all the paperwork. It was, I'm sorry.
There was a submerged land lease agreement with the previous owner or with the current owner, but,
It was never recorded.
right, it was never recorded.
Okay, so you have it.
No.
Well, we
I think
need-
if it's already existing, it's gonna be tough to, for
Right.
them to make a change on the pool. I think we should just agree to give them the easement.
Well, is there any impact? I mean, this is city land, what was the purpose of the easement place and what is the impact of doing this?
I know of no impact. What we have here is looking back to when these properties, all of them, all the way down that line, were developed, and there was a lot of dredging going on that probably was not permitted, or if it was permitted, somebody turned their back on it, and they were extending these properties out. As you can see, where the seawall is, where the city's boundary is, those that should not have been developed beyond where that line is, that dotted line that you see on an arc. That's as far as that property should have been developed. But somehow they went and developed that portion that you see there that looks like it's L3. L3 is 21.81 feet plus the dock. We tried to resolve some of these problems some time ago with the utilization of a submerged land lease, since we own the land under the water. But there's even some contingencies now that were found during the title search that affect that land, the ability to do those land leases. But in any event, this is the least intrusive way of resolving the lady's problem.
We don't want to all go over and jump in our pool.
Paul, the only question I have, would the city be responsible for maintaining that seawall if it's on city property?
No, this easement says they'll maintain.
No, I'm not saying the easement, I'm saying without the easement.
Well, I contend, no, as a matter of fact, because it's an improper use. It's illegal
Yeah.
without the easement, technically.
Okay.
It's illegal. I don't think you have to maintain something that's illegal.
No, I'm just saying if the seawall is on city property versus their property, without the easement, couldn't the city be on the hook for maintaining it?
I don't think so,
Okay.
in my opinion.
All right. Because it's overdeveloped, you're saying? Or
Because
developed
it's
beyond the
illegally
boundaries.
developed, and you can't take property by adverse possession against a unit of government. So it's not like you say, I've owned this for 20 years, held it out to the whole world as mine. That works on private property, but it doesn't work. Adverse possession does not work against government.
Now, that easement line is going all the way across, basically, in back of all the houses on that street right there.
Well, we're gonna have to deal with those one at a time, I think. We don't know exactly. I did a survey once. I took a look at this whole area when I was doing the submerged land leases. But I was more focused on the land under the water than I was about the land uplands. So I really didn't get a mental picture of how wide this problem is. What street is this? This is Harvard Drive.
Harvard.
Okay.
Harvard Drive.
And I think this helps them and helps them clear title too, as well.
They really want to purchase the home.
So the easements they're asking for, are they asking for taking over that whole piece of property, or just where the pool is?
Now, the easement will encompass L1 and L3, and you can see the distances upper right-hand corner of Exhibit A will give you the distances all the way up to and including all of L2 and probably that dock sitting out there, but that's their concern.
Do I have a motion to approve the encroachment easement?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I just would like to put a caveat to what I just said. You know, someone would say that the easiest thing to do is just convey the property to it, like you do sometimes when you vacate an easement or right away. But we can't do that under our charter without a referendum from everyone, the whole city. We can't give away property.
I think the easement makes more sense.
Easement sounds good. It is. Okay. Item number 11, consideration of ordinance 1703.
This is a Scrivener's error ordinance. This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Bel Air Beach, Florida, amending and correcting the Scrivener's error in the City Code Section 10-39 pertaining to enforcement violation and penalty, providing for severability and providing for an effective date. And I really appreciate the fact that our Code Master, Susan Moore, spotted this and said we really do need to correct it. And you can see where those changes are. It started out with changing 266, 2-266 and 2-248. Then we saw another word that needed to be changed. We need to take building official out and put in city, and take code enforcement board out and put in special master.
Do I have a motion for ordinance 1703?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Discussion from the audience? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, excuse me, I just got told I need a roll call. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Councilmember Benton? Aye. Councilmember Clark?
Aye.
Councilmember Petrowski?
Aye.
Councilmember Chandler?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Schwer?
Aye.
Mayor Notrell?
Aye. Yes, it's 6-0. Okay, mayor and council comments. Where do we want to start? John?
No, have none right now.
Jules?
Yeah, I'm glad that we have law enforcement here. I wanted to find out the status. Saturday I was driving by, and of course Morgan Park, because of the holiday on Tuesday, but the Saturday prior, there were like 3 or 4 cars parked on 25th Street by that lot. And they park there and they go to Morgan Park Beach. And are we doing anything to stop that, especially on the holiday weekend? Officer, I don't know if you can address that.
Well, we usually give either warnings or citations if we don't have a...
No, sure.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Just so we can hear you.
I'm not sure it's as far as the specific dates, but I know that we do get... I know that we do have notations where they've been pre-authorized to park in certain areas. I'm not sure how that comes about, who's giving the authorization. I just know that when I come in, I check to find out what streets, and I do believe they had a mention on one residence that was having some sort of, they received some sort of authorization to park on streets, and because of where they live on Gulf Boulevard, they were allowed to park on 25th Street. And in another one, it was on Howard Drive.
Well, these people were clearly coming from the beach. They were walking to the cars and there were towels and getting into the car.
Well,
And right across the street, there's a sign that says city ordinance, no parking on the, no street parking.
correct, yeah.
Jules? maybe I can explain that. If people are having like a function, a family reunion or something, you know, and live on the beach, or anywhere in town actually, you can call City Hall, talk to Pam.
Like a Super Bowl party
And
type
get
of thing.
approval to have people park. Usually, you're supposed to put, everybody's supposed to put something on their dashboard that says,
I see.
I'm at,
Okay.
you know, something like that. So that's where those approvals come from.
Yes.
And like I said, other people, you know, people in the condos can do it, or people on, you know, usually regular streets.
Okay.
And we put it on the calendar back in the sheriff's office. So like you said, they can go and see if there are any parties, and we usually put how many cars we've approved to park on the streets.
Okay, and then one other thing is illegal rentals regarding Mitch. I think you addressed it in one of your emails? Or where did I see that? Mitch's comments last month. In the minutes, okay. Regarding illegal, that's right, it was in the minutes, regarding illegal rentals. What's the status on that? Are we going forward with that?
We go forward, Jack goes forward. He had a special master hearing, I think, on the 26th or 27th of June. And he has, I think, Patty, is it 3 coming up or 2? 3 coming up. And are they all rentals?
I'm not sure.
Mhm.
I think they are.
I think, you know, at least 2 of them are. So they are being addressed.
Thank you.
Anything else? No? Yeah? Thanks.
Good?
I'm looking forward to reading this. Thank you, Ellie.
Ask one more question, and it might pertain, Lynn might be able to answer. On the sign that we were talking about, lighted sign that we're going to put over here in the corner, while Duke Energy is doing all their work over there, do we need any extra power that they can run their lines?
Well, no, there's power already in the park, so we would just connect onto that.
Okay, that's all. While they were there, I just wondered if we needed to do that.
And the other thing about the sign is once we decide which one the council would prefer to have, that does have to be approved by the big C, the cost and the actual sign, so.
It'll be coming out of Penny for Pinellas. Okay, a couple things. In June, Nancy received her 10-year pin for 10 years of membership in the Florida City and County Management Association from the Board of Directors. So congratulations. The last Big C meeting, we had a speaker from the Mote Marine Laboratory, and they are looking for people to monitor and report on the status of red tide on the beaches. They have an app they will provide to whoever wants to do this, and it's just a question of, you know, they're like little faces. Does it stink? Are there fish? You know, are there dead fish? And so on. It's just coming in, you know, going out there twice a day or something and pressing this app. So if anyone is interested in becoming a beach monitor for Mote Marine, that would be great. We talked a bit about beach renourishment. We are fortunate that we have all of the easements for the property owners that we need, the beachfront property owners, to get our entire beach renourished. Indian Rocks and Indian Shores have some people who have refused to give renourishment, so they're not doing it, but we were very fortunate about that. That's all next Monday at 4 o'clock, our budget hearing. So, anything else? I think that's it. Nancy? Paul?
No, ma'am, I don't have anything.
Okay.
I was just going to remind everybody about the budget hearing, and don't forget to take your budgets home. Also, I forgot to put it in under my comments, but about 3 weeks ago, I was notified by ICMA, which is the International City and County Managers Association, that I'll be receiving an award in September for 28 plus years in government. So I was like, wow. I couldn't believe it. It's really gone by fast. So, and the other notification that I got, and it's official, but I haven't received the official document. The 5-year cycle for the community rating system, I was able to increase it from a 7 to a 6, which beginning October 1 will give the residents a 20% discount on your flood insurance. So that will begin October 1st.
One thing is, I think City Council would like to welcome you to the neighborhood.
Yes, we're here first Monday of every month.
Unless it's a holiday.
Unless it's a holiday, I'm sorry. Okay. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We're adjourned.